Good morning, guys. My family arrived from Canada yesterday, so we're excited to take them all to church.
But we only have 2 of them.
Yeah. Okay. Just kidding.
The rest are in a minivan behind us.
Yeah. We got everybody with us now.
Crew.
Because apostolic is a mindset. Apostolic is a mindset that is derived from coming under the influence of an apostle. It's a mindset. It's funny, I'm around some people and they get invited to apostolic events, and I've met a couple of them and they've left and they've kind of said, well, you know, I'm an apostle. It's like, no.
Going to Costco. So Sean Foyt just finished speaking on Wednesday, and he was just talking about the most expensive piece of art ever sold is actually a picture of Jesus. Da Vinci painted it, and it sold for $450 million. No one really knew who bought it, and some journalists tracked it down, and it was like this really like a top a leader in a Muslim country, and it's just like Jesus is moving in Muslim countries in ways that we can't even understand, and it's just so powerful. So Sean was also telling us about different times where he visited the underground church.
I'm doing a vine. No, I'm the criminal. She tried to sneak rocks across the dam to throw off, but she was doing it for us, so we forgive her.
Tourists.
Yes.
And in one instance there was 1,500 believers worshiping God for 6 hours with no leaders or instruments. That's when he showed up to actually begin the service, and they kind of got there 6 hours earlier and has been worshiping God ever since. So it's just changed some paradigm. I think worship is so amazing what's happening there. And yeah, so that was an incredibly inspiring thought. It just changes our idea of what a good worship service looks like. Like, we get tired after half an hour, and we have worship leaders and instruments. Like, what would it look like if we were that hungry for God and that in tune with His presence? So, yeah.
Guys, coffee in the morning. Lemonade in the morning.
I have coffee. I just got out of a session with Chris Valentin, and he was talking about authority and stuff, but a little bit that he talked about at the end was about what we see as his laws that he gives us, and it was just interesting. It's just like we think that we can rebel against his laws, and he's trying to take pleasure away from us, but actually God is the inventor of pleasure, and He's just telling us ways that it doesn't work. He created us for freedom, and He's not limiting our freedom by giving us laws, but just telling us the way that it does not work. So it's like if you had a car and you decided, I'm going to drive this car across a lake. Well, you can try, but you should probably consult with the manufacturer's plan for the car. It will work well if you drive it on the road, and that's what the manufacturer designed it for. So God designed us for specific things, and when we walk contrary to those things, then there's natural things that happen, like our car will sink when we drive it across the lake, and that's just how it goes. So I just thought like that analogy was really cool. I really liked it, and just was worth telling. So now it's worship time, and I'm going back in. And this is the Cascade Theater in 1930s. So we go to church there.
Oh my goodness, it's so cute! I'm the bird whisperer. Help. Guys! Nikki.
Love, vulnerability, friendship, fierceness, humility. This woman is leading a movement in this nation, and you will one day get to say, I actually sat under her teaching one time in my life. Will you please welcome the fierce Abby Stumble? Thank you. So I remember when she was in second year, it was the first time she'd ever heard about tithing. And she was like, oh my gosh, 1 year, you should have learned everything there is to know about an eternal God who has an eternity of information about him. But she had so much shame, and then that immediately goes to, instead of, I don't know about tithing, and now I'm going to learn, which is just conviction, she went into shame. I don't know about tithing. It means I'm a failure as a Christian. It means I'm a failure as a leader. It means my life's not going anywhere.
In 10 minutes, everybody has got the Wi-Fi password.
Guys, this is the best part about Trader Joe's.
So we made it to San Francisco, and we are downtown, or near the piers. We're by Pier 9. And there's millions of people everywhere, and we're just aimlessly wandering around. That's great fun. But there is the bay, and there is the city, and there is my wife.
True story. This is what shame does, is it pounds you with what you should be already. I want to tell you this. I want you to imagine that God is eternal, because that's true. I want you to imagine that he goes all the way from that side to all the way from that side, because he is forever big. So I want you to imagine that I'm on his timeline, and well, let's actually just say that the timeline starts here. That's easier. Starts here, goes all the way that way. I want you to imagine that when I'm 100, I've moved about here on God's timeline.
This is so good, guys. It's really cheesy, but really fun.
Very cheesy. We were just in a sprinkle pool. At sprinkle pool.
If I make it to 100, I am now this far into the timeline. So to God, when I'm 100, I'm still a 2-year-old. Like I'm still like a little tiny baby. So I want you to imagine a 1-year-old is trying to walk, and this is the emotions you have. You're like, you're stupid, why are you falling? Why are you wobbling? You should know how to walk by now. You should figure it out. You're never gonna walk because you fell. You're never gonna be able to become an adult. You're never gonna grow. You're an idiot. Like if parents did that, you would think they were insane. But that's the voice that will come, the voice of shame. It will tell you that. This is one of the ways I beat shame. I've been a speaker for a while now, but I'm like, I'm still less than 50, so really it's new to me. And when I'm 50, I'm gonna say, I'm still less than 100, so really it's new to me. I'm still learning. I'm still growing. I don't have an expectation of myself that I should be perfect.
Dad!
Just did an audio tour of Alcatraz prison. It was pretty cool.
It was really cool.
And now we're walking through, and everybody's silently walking around with stories playing in their heads. So this is actually this house behind me is where one of the prison guard lived, and they had a little town up here. They all had their families out here, and they'd go to San Francisco on a boat sometimes, like in the evening if they wanted to.
They even had a little grocery store.
Yeah, it was like a small town.
And then all the inmates lived in there. They had a bowling alley.
Yes, it was really interesting. And now we just wait to get into Bubba Gump's.
Yeah, for lunch we're hungry and tired and our backs hurt, but we're having fun.